Good morning, everyone. How are you this fine day? I want to make sure that you guys can see me and hear me all right. I know we were having some problems with the volume, but you guys we're good. We're good now. Wonderful. Well, as you have probably noticed, I am not Mr. Joshua. And if you were here last week, I let you know that Mr. Joshua is out of town. And so that's why I have the very honored privilege of working with you guys in our academic writing class today. So looking over, yes, I see a lot of our usuals. There's Nora, Leo, Baharat, dear Miss Rosa, Dari. You guys are wonderful. I'm so excited to see you. And I think we even have a couple new students that are joining us. So wonderful. Well, again, if this is your first time joining class, my name is Abby. Normally this class is taught by Mr. Joshua, and he is actually the director of SCEL, the Spokane College of English Language, where we are coming to you live, and that is, of course, in beautiful Spokane, Washington. So once more, Mr. Joshua normally teaches this class, which is academic writing. That's what you're looking for. Glad you found us. But last week and this week, I am sitting in, and in particular, we've been talking about analytical writing, and today we're going to finish up that discussion with analytical writing and what it is and how to do it and how to do it successfully, of course. And then we're going to break it down even further and be looking at topic sentences and then supporting sentences and what exactly each one of those do and the purpose of those and how we can make sure that when we're writing, we are good writers and we're getting all the information in there that we need. Let me check over. Alexander, I like your comment. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to jump back over real quick to our notes on, here we go. Well, first, I was remiss, so I totally forgot to say, wherever you are at in the world right now, I hope you are enjoying a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night. It's crazy to think that it's morning here in Spokane, and I'm up and awake, and I've got my coffee. And some of you guys are probably getting ready to go to bed because it's already evening where you're at. And once more, that's just one of the cool things with technology, as I've always said, that it enables us to have friends from all over the world. Thank you, the good mornings and the hellos. Thanks, guys. Wonderful to have you in class. As always, I will certainly do my best to answer any comments or questions that you have in our live stream feed. However, if I'm not able to, because the feed goes so quickly, if it's something you really need to know, you really need an answer, please, after the video is posted, scroll to the bottom. And if you would like to leave a comment or you have a question, you would like to leave it there, I will certainly try my best to get to those, simply because, once more, during class, the live feed is going so quickly that I know that there's questions and comments that I'm not able to see before they get off screen. So great. Nora says, I might sleep while watching. I'm so tired. I bet you are, and I'm so glad that even being tired, that you're still here with us, Miss Nora. That makes me happy. Oh, Natish says, yeah, where he's at, it's 8 p.m. So you 12 hours, a half a day ahead of where I'm at, once more in Spokane. Wonderful. Okay, so let's jump over. All right, so, and let me make this a little bit bigger. Well, it's not wanting to, okay. Well, my apologies. I seem to have some technical issues. It's not wanting to get big on the screen, but that's all right. This is review, and we can just say that it'll be a listening exercise. So again, when we go to analyze, and with that, when we're writing an analytical paper or an analytical essay or an analytical paragraph, as you did, what does it mean to analyze? And analyze as a verb, as something we actually do, it's to examine methodically. So with a method, with a purpose, examine methodically and in detail the structure of something. And this is typically or normally for the purpose of explanation or explaining or interpreting. So our interpretation of what the writer meant to say or what they said on the surface, and then the subtext. So once more, we know that the subtext is what we'd say the deeper meaning within the writing, kind of the message within the message is our subtext. And when we're analyzing, we need to be looking for that subtext. Again, analyze as a verb, as something we're actually doing. The second definition of that, of analyze, is to discover or to reveal, to show something through detailed examination, right? So once more, Jack London's To Build a Fire. There's the base, okay? What it simply is on the surface is a story, a fictional story, so made up, a fictional story about a man who tries to take on the Yukon and survive the Yukon, and for any number of reasons ends up passing away because he gets caught in the ice and the cold of the Yukon. So on the surface, it's just a story. But when we start looking at the subtext, so the deeper meaning in the story, we see that Jack London was actually making some commentary, so giving some opinions or thoughts on man versus self, man versus nature, and even man versus dog. So different dynamics between all of those. And that's what's up to you, up to us as readers to analyze. So first we have to analyze it, and then we go into our analysis, which we'll be covering today. So looking over. So Leo said analysis is to find the undercover meaning of the author. Analysis, that's definitely part of it. When we analyze, part of that is absolutely getting, what did you say? The undercover meaning of the author. And that undercover meaning we call the subtext. Excellent. So that definitely is part of analysis. Great comment and observation, Mr. Leo. Oh, Nadish. Hello, Nadish. I'm glad you could join us. Oh, Rosa said, what strategies do we need when we analyze? And what is the difference between analysis and interpret? Great question. So strategies to analyze, I'm going to take that first question and I'll address that in a little bit. As far as the difference between analysis and interpret, those at times could be used as synonyms. So we know that synonyms are two words that mean the same thing or that can be used interchangeably. To interpret just means to find your own kind of opinions and meanings to it. To analyze is looking at something more methodically, with looking at more of the detail. And interpret is, there's no right or wrong. It's up. If you interpret something, we say it's your own interpretation. So that's your own thoughts, feelings, or opinions on anything. Whereas to analyze, you need to actually show. You can't just say, well, this is my opinion and that's how I feel. This is how I interpret something. If you're analyzing, you have to say why, and you have to give facts and proof and citations on why that's your interpretation, so that perhaps we could think of it as interpreting and analyzing. How are they the same or different? We could say maybe that first you have to interpret, and then you take your own interpretation and adding even facts, adding quotes from the story, taking extra things to support your interpretation. So great question, wonderful question, Miss Rosa. All right, and then I'm going to write down your first question, Rosa, so that I make sure to get to that a little bit later, which was how to analyze. Great, wonderful question. Okay, so continuing on, we know that we were looking once more at 3 main subtexts that Jack London included in his story To Build a Fire. And the first one was person versus self, so the man and how he had internal struggles or even internal fights within his own self. Person versus dog, and so the dynamics, so the relationship between the man and his dog. And here are 3 of the points that we came up with last week, that the dog can read nature, right? The dog's a part of nature. That the dog can survive. The dog is created with its hair and its ability to withstand cold. The dog can survive that kind of cold, whereas a human being, unfortunately, we find out cannot. And then our last point, person versus dog, is we know that at one point the man even entertains the idea, so thinks about potentially killing his dog so that he can keep warm by keeping his hands and parts of his body in the deceased dog. So a little morbid, that means a little scary or uneasy, a little morbid, but again, as we see in the story, when you're desperate to survive, when it's life or death, people will resort to whatever they can, certainly, to stay alive. So great job. So once more, if you are just now joining us, we're just doing a quick review. I think that's really helpful to do just a quick review so that we make sure we're all, we would say, on the same page. So we're all starting at the same level for this week's lesson and looking over. Great job. All right. So now, Rosa asked, how do we analyze? That's a fantastic question. So when we analyze, first you need to choose which topic, okay? Either person versus self, person versus dog, or person versus nature. You choose your topic, and then you look for all the supporting evidence that you can find within the text, you can find within the story, or whatever it is that you are being asked to analyze. And you come up with, as we said a little bit ago, kind of your own interpretation. So your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own opinions on what you read. And then you analyze those in as much as you have your thoughts, you have your opinions, but those need to be supported, right? Can't just say, if you were talking about the man versus self, you can't just say, well, the man, in his own mind, he fought against himself. All right, but prove it. Prove it to me. Show me in the story, give me quotes, give me excerpts, so taking part of the text to show your point. Prove it. So that once more, when you're looking to analyze, you have your interpretation, and then you have to get the facts, you have to get part of the reading or quotes to back up why you interpret it that way. So almost even to add your opinion to it. So once more, I can't just say the man in his own mind was fighting against himself. That's your interpretation, and you're correct, but you need to prove it. You need to show me where you found that in the text. Give me examples of the man fighting with himself within his own head, all right? So that's your interpretation. Now you need to prove it, and that becomes part of your analysis. So how to analyze, and really this can be used in all aspects of writing when we are asked to analyze or review, or we have a piece of writing that first we need to read and then we write about what we read. I absolutely encourage you to take notes. Be taking notes when you're reading, so that once more, if you're looking for examples of man versus self, whenever you come across that in the text, in the story, write it down, okay? Either write down the whole quote itself or make a note for yourself where to go back and find that. So that ultimately, I always tell my students that the first thing they need to think about when they're writing, and who they need to think about when they're writing, is the reader, right? The reason that you're writing is to give information to whoever's reading your writing, whether it be a paragraph essay, a 5-paragraph essay, a 20-paragraph essay. You always have to be thinking about your reader, all right? And with that, giving the reader information, but then backing that up, giving further proof of why that information is true or why that is your opinion. And a really helpful way to do that, and certainly point in fact, the most persuasive way to do that is to actually have parts of the text, parts of the writing that you're quoting, that you're truly showing your opinion, your thoughts, your interpretation, and ultimately your analysis. So without going into too much detail, because we could do a whole day, if not a whole week or month, on how to write, but the basic points of writing an analysis, really any of your essays, when you're taking information from an existing text, is write down notes that are going to prove your point, that are going to back up your assertions and back up your opinions, interpretations, and analysis at large. So let me know. Oh my gosh, someone said, can you guys see me all right? Someone said, okay. All right, so Natish asks, we analyze data to find the mechanical property of material. Is it the same in English too? I would say it's very similar, and you could think about those being parallel, so being the same as each other. To analyze is just to find out, in a way, what something is made of, all right? So that to answer your question, we analyze data to find the mechanical property of material. So that way you're gathering your facts, right? You're gathering your data, and that is to find the property of material. So here's my facts that prove or show this, right? In exactly the same way, we are doing that with our writing, and we are doing that with our analysis. Here's my facts, so here's the reasons, whether it's quote or excerpts, here's the reasons that I think something, here's my facts that are supporting my interpretation and my analysis. Great question, Natish. Let me know if that answered it in full, or if there's anything else that you're still unclear of. All right. And Hiding Love Natty, which kind of writing should select to write an essay? An argument? Okay, so I'm not entirely sure that I understand your question, Miss Natty, but I'll answer what I think you're asking, so let me know. Her question once more is, which kind of writing should we select for an essay? It will normally, if you're in college or university, your teacher will tell you. Your teacher, as part of your assignment, will tell you whether they want you to write a summary. So a summary is just telling in smaller what the story was about. So that if you were asked to write a 1-paragraph summary of To Build a Fire, I believe Mr. Joshua's already gone over what a summary entails. You're just condensing the main idea. You're telling someone in 1 paragraph what the story is about. You don't include opinions, you don't include your own thoughts or your own interpretations. You're just giving them a summary, so a shorter version of the story at large, so that if they only read 1 paragraph, the paragraph that you wrote as your summary, they would understand what To Build a Fire, what the story was about. So that would be a summary essay. Now, if you were doing an argumentative essay, then you would have to take 2 opposing points. So perhaps you could take man versus self, or you could take how the man survives or tries to survive in the Yukon and how the dog survives and is able to survive. And maybe you could make the argument over who is more intelligent. Because even though the dog survives, we also know that at the end of the story, the dog is going to find the boys, the people that the man was ultimately hoping to go see. So the dog, instead of going off in the forest on its own, he continues to look for, I believe they were called fire starters. The dog can't make a fire, right? So he is dependent on humans. So even though his master dies, he goes on to try to find the cabin so that he can be with humans again. So you could make an argumentative essay on who was more intelligent, the man or the dog. And then if you're asked to write an analytical essay, that's exactly what we've been going over here. So that if I understood your question correctly, if I understood your question correctly, Natty, you were just asking when do we write which kind of essay, and once more to answer that, your teacher will let you know which kind of essay they would like for you to have, right? So Baharat, I think I see your question. Which one is correct grammatically? Let me move this. I started liking her more, or I started to like her more. You could say either one of those. I started liking her more. Perfect. Or I started to like her more. Perfect. You could absolutely say either one of those, and as you have them written here, either one would be perfectly fine, Baharat. So good question and great sentences that once more, they mean the exact same thing. Great job. All right. And then Nitish makes the observation, summary is the essence of the passage. Absolutely. Or summary is the essence of the story at large, whatever we're being asked to summarize. You're absolutely right, Nitish. That is the essence, the basis of it. So once more, instead of reading an 11-page story of To Build a Fire, I could read just one of your paragraph essays and know what the basic essence of the story was. Great observation, Nitish. Thank you so much. Okay, so scrolling down. Great. Okay. Wonderful. So let's jump back over to our lessons. And I'm going to talk about topic sentences and then our supporting sentences. So let's go over, does anyone know what is a topic sentence, or what is the purpose of a topic sentence? I'll wait for you guys looking over. So once more, the question is, what is a topic sentence? And in some ways, you might also hear this used interchangeably with thesis statement, depending on what kind of essay or what kind of writing you are doing. So what is a topic sentence? Looking through, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to say that a topic sentence, a topic sentence is the main idea in one sentence. So it's the main idea of your essay, and sometimes depending on what kind of essay you're writing, it'll also be called a thesis statement. It's the main idea, but just in one sentence. Your topic sentence. Topic is what you're writing about, right? So topic sentence is just a sentence about what you're writing overall, the general. We could even say that the topic sentence is the essence of the essay. If the summary is the essence of the story, bringing it down even smaller, the topic sentence is the essence of the paragraph or the essay itself. So Natish says topic sentence is what the passage is about. Yep, absolutely. Mona, and my apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. Mona says the topic is the main idea. Absolutely. Leo says the topic sentence explains what's following below in your reading. Absolutely, the topic sentence in one sentence is going to explain what you're writing about and what they are going to be reading. Let me see. Natty says topic sentence is agenda. Kinda. I think agenda is usually like a schedule or an order of things, or what you need to have accomplished. And so I don't think agenda would be the best word, but I absolutely understand what you're saying, because if you have an agenda, that means you have something that you want to accomplish, that you want to have done. So I could understand how you could think of a topic sentence in that way. Absolutely. Okay, great. Aaron says, can you explain about a thesis? So once more, a topic sentence and a thesis, depending on what kind of essay you are writing, more times than not can be the same. We can use those interchangeably, so that the topic sentence is the main idea of your writing at large. So whether it's a 1-paragraph essay, a 5-paragraph essay, or 20 pages, all of that can be summarized into just one sentence, and that's your topic sentence. In the same way, a thesis statement is your main idea, or what you want to prove, what you want to show in your essay, so that once more, it'll either be a topic sentence or a thesis sentence, depending on what kind of essay it is. And that'll be gone over in future lessons. But both of those, the important thing to know is both of those are the full main idea or the essence of your writing, but just in one sentence, right? So looking over, great. Rosa says, so if we're doing a 5-paragraph essay, if I'm understanding you correct on this, and let's see, it looks like you were answering someone else's. It's always for a paragraph essay, All right, we know that a paragraph generally has to be at least 5 sentences to be a paragraph. And so that could be comprised of your first sentence is your topic sentence. Your second, third, and fourth sentences are your supporting sentences. So they're supporting your topic sentence, showing why you believe that or why you think that or why that's the main idea of your paper or essay, and then followed by either a conclusion sentence or a transitioning sentence. So great observation there. Ella, hello, good morning, my friend. I don't mind that you're late. I'm just glad that you're here with us. So hello, Ella. Wonderful. Okay, so is there any other questions? And this is a great time as well. Today's a good day if you have any extra questions that you've been wondering about. So Ella says, yes, topic sentence is like introduction. We could absolutely say that our topic sentence is introducing what we're going to write about, what we're going to show in our writing, what is the essence of our writing. Absolutely. Wonderful. Yes, hello. Hello to our Nugali. Good. I'm sorry if I mispronounced names, but hello from Malaysia, or hello to you in Malaysia. All right, so now that we know what a topic sentence is the main idea, the main idea in one sentence. So then what is a supporting sentence? So does anyone know that? What would be a supporting sentence? So if our topic sentence is our main idea or our main point or the essence, I love that, the essence of our paragraph or essay, then what is a supporting sentence and what does it do? All right, and again, as I just said, we're going to have multiple supporting sentences. So let's see anyone who can come up with it first. What is a supporting sentence? All right. Omar says a sentence that helps you with what you are writing about. That is absolutely correct. Wonderful. Jesus says that would be the body, the middle part. Yeah, it's going to be included in there. You are right, my friend. And Alexander says a sentence that develops the main idea with examples, details, etc. Wonderful. I love that. I'm actually going to read that again. It was so on point. So what is the supporting sentence? Alexander said a sentence that develops the main idea with examples, details, etc. Wonderful job. All of your comments. Rosa says supporting it explains more about our main idea or develops the main idea. Yes. And Jesus says it's there that you will back up your statements with arguments. If you're writing a persuasive or argumentative essay, absolutely. You guys are fantastic. Rachel asks, what about citation? Or Rahul, asks, what about citation? Oh my goodness, citation, that's a whole nother class. That's a whole nother subject. But real quick, if you are using a quote within your essay, you need to say where the quote is from. You definitely want to include who said the quote, and then it depends on what style essay you're writing and what class it's for, because there are different schools of academia. Using one of the vocabulary words, if you're part of my beginning intermediate class on Tuesday mornings, using academia. Within academia, there's different kinds of citation, so that will also be included. Your teacher will let you know what kind of citation they would like. All right, I'm having some problems with my chat. Let me see. If I refresh it. Okay. All right. Guys, how am I doing? My internet kind of stopped for a second, so I want to make sure that I'm back up. Great. Okay. There we go. So all good points. Wonderful. You guys all were dead on. What is a supporting sentence? It's exactly that. It's a sentence that supports your main idea. So a sentence that backs up your main idea. Supporting sentence supports. That's a pretty easy way to remember it, and it really is that easy. And as we go on through the lesson, I'm going to kind of show you or teach you how to check your own writing to make sure that you have a good topic sentence and to make sure that you have good supporting sentences, all right? So looking over, great. Talcha says, my lecturer says we can't use abbreviations in writing. Is it true? No, you don't want to use abbreviations unless you're using acronyms. So we know that acronyms are, for example, the United States of America. We can just put USA. Everyone knows that USA is United States of America. So acronym is just when you take the first letter of each word and put them together. So EU, European Union. So those are the only acronyms such as that are the only abbreviations that would be appropriate in academic writing. Everything else, no, your teacher is correct. You would actually want to write it out. And even when you are presenting an acronym, the first time you present it in your essay or in your writing, you need to completely spell it out so that just in case your reader doesn't know that acronym, you already have it stated, and then throughout the rest of your paper, you can use US or EU. But when you first introduce it, you need to completely spell it out. So your lecturer is absolutely correct. Abbreviations would not be appropriate in academic writing. All right. Great. Okay, so continuing on, Leo's, FBI, CIA, USA. Yep, it's true. Nagarli asked, what about US? You could use US, United States. You don't have to include of America. Everyone, yeah, UN, great. And Aaron makes the observation, right on, supporting sentence helps your thesis. Yes, your supporting sentence, once more, supports your thesis. Okay, so continuing on, we are going to go over to, and I don't see Knowledge is Free, and that's his username. I don't see him in here today, but we're gonna quickly look over the two essays that I had from our wonderful students, Knowledge is Free and Miss Rosa, and they were so kind to let me share. So we're going to check and see how they did with their topic sentence and then with their supporting sentence. Right, so my apologies if you can't see this real well. That's totally fine. I'll be reading it out loud so you can practice your listening skills. All right, so starting out, 100,000 greedy people were searching for gold in the Klondike Gold Rush, though only 30,000 of them made it. Others either died or returned home. So that is the topic sentence. Continuing on, and actually for this one, we kind of have two topic sentences together. In this story, To Build a Fire by Jack London, the author shows how a greedy man went in search of gold, but could not make it and died because he ignored the warnings that nature gave him. All right, so I'm actually going to say that our second sentence is the better topic sentence. I'll read it once more. In this story, To Build a Fire by Jack London, the author shows how a greedy man went out in search of gold, but could not make it and died because he ignored the warnings that nature gave him. That's a great topic sentence, all right? Just in one sentence, it gives the essence of the story at large. And the main idea of the story at large is that a very greedy man wanted gold and he was going to go find it, but because he ignored nature's warnings, he actually ended up dying out in the Yukon. So if that is our topic sentence, let's continue on, because now we're going to be looking for our supporting sentences. And so we'll be checking, did our author here, again, Knowledge is Free, who unfortunately is not with us in class today, but that is fine. He wrote a great essay, so we will continue reading it. So then the first supporting sentence, the man was greedy, adventurous, and insignificant-minded that made him trail for gold in the Klondike rush. So does that sentence, I'll read it one more time, be thinking, does that sentence support the main idea or the topic sentence? That a greedy man went in search of gold, didn't heed the warnings, ignored the warnings by nature, and ended up dying. So if that's our main idea and that's what's presented in our topic sentence, then let's check together if this sentence is a good supporting sentence. I'll read it again. The man was greedy, adventurous, and insignificant-minded that made him trail for gold in the Klondike rush. I'm actually going to continue with our second supporting sentence. Here the author showed us how a human who claimed to be the bravest and the most intelligent made the mistake of underestimating nature, while a dog of his was cunning enough to fear nature's wrath. Right? Oh, and Steve asked bigger font. Oh, bleh. There we go. And Steve, my apologies. I'm kind of having some problems with my internet today. And so my apologies that I'm not able to make this bigger. Apologies. But like I said, we'll just practice our listening skills instead. And again, the internet's fantastic most of the time, but today it's being a little bit ornery with me. So, all right, so going back, those are actually, in fact, fantastic supporting sentences. And I'm going to break down for you why I, as a teacher, would look at this essay and grade it and say, yes, those are great supporting sentences. So the main topic sentence says that a greedy man went in search of gold, ignored nature's warnings, and died because of it. That's the essence. Our first topics or supporting sentence says the man was greedy, and this greed made him trail for gold in the Klondike. That absolutely supports the topic sentence because it shows us, it gives us a little bit more information that he was actually where he was in the Klondike, and it gives us even more adjectives to really describe the man: adventurous, greedy, insignificant-minded. So that yes, that supporting sentence absolutely relates back to the topic sentence and once more supports the topic sentence. Continuing on, here the author showed us how a human who claimed to be the bravest and the most intelligent made the mistake of underestimating nature, while his dog was cunning enough to fear nature's wrath. That as well is a good supporting sentence because the author, Knowledge is Free, of this paragraph essay is going on giving us more supporting details that the man claimed to be the bravest and the most intelligent. But because he thought he was so intelligent, he didn't listen to nature when nature was saying, it's not safe, you need to stop, don't proceed in your journey, you need to stop. But the dog understood that. The dog was, as he says, cunning enough to fear nature's wrath. So with that, again, I, as a teacher, when I look at this essay, say absolutely. There's a good topic sentence, and then the supporting sentences are absolutely. They are going back and supporting the topic sentence at large, right? So once more, knowledge is free. If you are watching this later, after it's posted, thank you again, my dear friend, for being brave enough to let me use your essay, and a very good one it is indeed. All right. Great. So let's continue on, and we're gonna look at Miss Rose's essay. And in this, she talked about person versus self. So again, the internal struggles, the internal fights that the man had within his own self. So when someone has a goal to reach, he or she can become blind and deaf and see that everything is possible. This power rises from inside and gives him or her a high self-esteem. But when they fail, the conflict starts between the person and self. That it's a long sentence because there's so much great information in that sentence. And that's Miss Rosa, once more, very well done with your writing, very well done on a very well thought out and well stated topic sentence. Again, guys, apologies, my internet's not working really well, so I'm not able to make the font bigger, but again, we'll just practice our listening skills instead. So once more, I'm going to read that topic sentence, and a wonderful, very good one it is indeed. So the topic sentence: when someone has a goal to reach, he or she can become blind and deaf and see that everything is possible, and this power arises from inside and gives him or her a high self-esteem. But when they fail, the conflict starts between the person and self. So here in Miss Rosa's essay and in her topic sentence, she's saying that sometimes when people have goals, they lose track, they lose sight, they're blind, they're deaf to everything else, right? They have high self-esteem, they have a goal, and they're sure that they can make it. They're sure that they can accomplish their goals. But then if they fail, what starts to happen after that? They can start to have an internal conflict. So this is exactly right when we're looking at the man in To Build a Fire. He had a goal. His goal was to search for gold, and the way he was going to do that first, he needed to make it to a cabin where his fellow gold miners were. So his goal was to get to the cabin, his goal at large to find gold. So his goal was to get to the cabin, and he was sure that he could do this. He didn't listen to other people's advice. He didn't listen to the warning signs of nature. He had his goal, and because of that goal, he became blind and he became deaf to everything else around him because he was so focused on that one goal. But then he starts failing, right? He starts failing. First he fails because he falls in the water, and then he's wet from the knees down, which when it's that cold can mean that your toes can literally freeze to death, or your foot can freeze to death. So he's scared. He's scared because he failed. And then he tries to build a fire. That's the name of the story. And he fails at that as well. And he starts getting really scared. There's a conflict within him because he knows that it's very possible that he could die. And as we find out, he of course does. So all of that is quickly included in Miss Rosa's topic sentence. Great job. So let's continue on and look at the supporting sentences, and if her next sentences, her supporting sentences, are in fact supporting her topic sentence, her main idea. So continuing on, he or she starts asking themselves whether the decision was right or wrong. And he or she has been in this situation before because of fate or due to their decisions. I think that is a great supporting sentence because it absolutely does support her topic sentence. He or she starts asking themselves whether their decision was right or wrong. The man in the story, we know that he first thinks that, of course, he's going to find gold. Of course, he's going to make it to the cabin. It's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a big deal. But then when he starts failing, as Miss Rosa pointed out in her first supporting sentence, he starts asking himself, he starts having that inner conflict. Was he right or was he wrong in his efforts to pursue gold and to go out in the Klondike by himself when he was told that it's not smart, it was not wise to go out into the Klondike by himself? So he really starts asking himself whether his decision was right or his decision was wrong. And that's exactly what Miss Rosa pointed out in her second supporting sentence. So again, thank you so much, Miss Rosa. Thank you for the fantastic essay, and thank you for allowing me to read it. I do appreciate it. Great. Omar asked, when is Josh coming back? Josh will be back here next week. Yes, Josh will be back here next week. He is fantastic. I absolutely understand why he is so popular with our students. All right, so continuing on. So what we're gonna do now, just for the last couple minutes of class, is I want you to look at this sentence. Right? So taking too many college courses at once can have potentially serious consequences. All right, that's my topic sentence. Okay, so once more, if my topic sentence, my main idea is taking too many college courses at once can have potentially serious consequences. Right, that's my topic sentence. Now, I'm going to give you guys there's six potential supporting sentences. And we're going to go through them together and see if these sentences would, in fact, be good supporting sentences. So let's jump over to that. Okay, so taking too many college courses at once can have potentially serious consequences. So let's go through these together. And how about in the feed? Oh, Leo says, should you avoid the words like, very, to, so in sentences? No, absolutely not. Any of those words are perfectly fine in writing and in academic writing. So we could even say the man acted like a child in that he ignored advice. So the man acted like a child. Perfectly fine. He was very stubborn and didn't listen. There we can use very or to, T-O-O. The man realized too late that he should have listened to the advice. So no, words like, very, to, you can absolutely use those in sentences. Absolutely. Oh, Jesus, thank you for the kind compliment, my friend. Great. And with those, so those words are perfectly fine, but always be asking yourself if they're the best words that you can use. So that, yeah, like, very, to, they're okay words to use, but do check and make sure that of all your choices, they are in fact your best choice. All right. Great. So I hope you guys can see the text here, but even if you can't, that's all right because we'll go over it together. So if my topic sentence is taking too many college courses at once can have potentially serious consequences. So let's look, and we're actually almost running out of time because there's so many great questions and you guys had so many wonderful comments. So our first sentence. So let's look at this and see if it would be a good supporting sentence. Students may become overwhelmed with the workload and their GPA may suffer as a result. So GPA, there's an acronym, grade point average. So that's just the average grade that a student has. So taking too many college courses at once can have potentially serious consequences. Topic sentence. Does this sentence support it? Students may become overwhelmed with the workload and their GPA may suffer as a result. Yeah, it absolutely does. That's a great supporting sentence because it's going back saying, all right, topic sentence says that too many courses can be a bad thing. And this sentence says, well, it can be a bad thing because you can become overwhelmed with the workload and your GPA may suffer. So that would, in fact, be a great supporting sentence. Looking at our second potential supporting sentence, some students get so stressed that they burn out and are unable to finish their degree. And burnout is just informal for they quit. They don't have any more energy left. They quit. So to burn out means like to quit. So some students get so stressed that they burn out and are unable to finish their degree. So that as well would be a good supporting sentence because absolutely it's supporting the main topic sentence and the main idea that too many college courses can be a bad thing. All right, number 4. I'm going to skip down to number 4. Taking more than the average number of courses at the same time can be beneficial for students who want to graduate early. So how's that for a supporting sentence? That one would actually not be a supporting sentence. And here's why. Because my topic sentence is stating that taking too many courses is a bad thing. It can be a very bad thing because it's just too much work. That's what my topic sentence, the idea my topic sentence is giving. But then this sentence, taking more than the average number of courses at the same time can be beneficial for students who want to graduate early. That's actually saying the complete opposite of my topic sentence. So this sentence, in fact, would not be a good supporting sentence because as we just said, it's not supporting the main idea. It's not supporting the topic sentence. So with that, we are out of time right now, so I didn't get to go through all of these, but go back. I would encourage you, go back and watch the last little bit of this video when, again, I presented the topic sentence of too many college courses can have a potentially serious consequence. And if it's helpful, then once more how I broke down which sentences would be good supporting sentences and the one example that would not be a good supporting sentence and why. So we are actually out of time and I apologize. I apologize that I'm not able to get to all of your questions. I actually have to go to class now, see my students this morning. But thank you guys so much as always. I'm so glad to have you in class. And yes, Mr. Joshua will be back next week. And if you did enjoy my teaching and you would like more of the Smart Life classes, I will be, of course, teaching next Tuesday morning, 7:30 my time, Pacific Standard Time. And I would love for, as always, our normal students, I'll see you there. And any new students, I absolutely invite you to come see us, come see me on Tuesday morning. So thanks, guys, wherever you are. Thank you to Rosa and Knowledge is Free, Aaron, Baharat, Dari, Leo, Natty, Ella, all my wonderful students. thanks so much. It's always a joy to see you. It's always a joy to be here. Natish, you have a wonderful day, my friend. Nora, great. So again, wherever you are at in the world, I wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. I will see you on Tuesday.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.